If you'd like to see more of our videos, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMtrading. Today's April 29, 2020. And today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the major economic events of the day later in the day today, we're looking at FOMC statement coming out of the United States at 8 p.m. South African time. Now, this will add fuel to the fire as the markets have been really volatile. Now, looking at the Forex symbols first, we're watching the Aussie dollar actually lead its way versus the US dollar as the US dollar gets a little bit weaker. And looking at the Dow Jones yesterday, what a roller coaster of a ride. Remember, I told you yesterday that we had the consumer confidence number coming out, and sure enough, that added so much fuel. The market initially rallied to 24,400-ish level and then giving it up, and then rallying into the end of the day. Now, we'll talk about some of the stocks that are leading the way. But first, looking at the commodities, gold finding a new trading range while oil bounces from its all-time lows. Lastly, looking at the stocks, we had a mixed day yesterday with the FANG stocks all trading weak. Now, in anticipation of their earnings later today at 11 p.m. South African time, Microsoft and Facebook are posed to come out with their corporate earnings. Now, tomorrow we also have Google coming out, and later in the week we have a few other major companies coming out with the earnings season full swing. But first, let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So first, looking at the Euro USD, we're still in quite a tight range, 108.42, 108.73. It's really a tight range. But looking at the Aussie dollar, and this may really change the direction of the US dollar, we see it actually inching up, okay, slowly but surely making that new high. Once it broke this 64.44-ish level, that's when we broke out higher. So this may add some momentum and continue on the upside. Now, looking at a daily chart, we still have some room to make back before this coronavirus situation actually unfolded. Now, jumping into the commodities, forward looking at gold, we bounced off of this 1688, which seems like we're making a little bit of a trading range right here. Okay, so far just trading between the 1730 and 1688, which is not bad. Okay, that's a pretty decent range to be trading within, but you got to really time it very carefully. Okay, buying the bottom of the range and selling the top of the range. Now, jumping into oil, we actually bounced off of this $10 yesterday to this $13.39, hitting a high of almost $14. Now, we are finding a new kind of place for us right now until, this coronavirus unlocking takes place. Now, there's a few things taking into consideration here. Number one, how the unlocking is actually going to start phasing itself. First, I think it's going to first take baby steps and to see that, the infections are not being infected, people are not being infected, and then we'll see more and more unlocking. Now, if it doesn't turn that way, God forbid, okay, if it goes the other way, that in the unlocking there are going to be more people that are going to be infected, then I would see a reversal in some of the policies that we've seen until now. Now, looking at the Dow Jones yesterday, okay, let's look at a half-hour chart just to give us a perspective. Now, yesterday we rallied, okay, throughout the whole day, straight through. Okay, breaking this 24,000-ish level and then breaking out to 24,459. Now, we haven't been at this level for a very long time, okay, even before we had our massive debacle. Now, we traded into this area. Now, look at what happened. You see this massive slide off? This was the consumer confidence number that came out. It actually was worse than expected, and the markets did sell off. Now, the markets are rebounding here, which are showing some relative strength. Now, later today, we have coming out of the United States, like I mentioned, Microsoft and Facebook coming out with earnings. Now, also today we have MasterCard, tomorrow we have Visa, later in the week we have ExxonMobil, which is one of the largest oil companies in the world. So a lot of news coming out. And I think, everybody knows the numbers are bad, just a question of how bad it is. Okay, now that's number one. And number two, in the unlocking process, how it's going to actually pan out. So I do expect some more volatility in the markets. Okay, however, I do know that also, the government is doing the best they can in order to staff off any sort of recession or any sort of depression, because prior to this, okay, we were trading at all-time highs and not breaking out lower. Okay, so really important to note that as this is all happening. Now, we are seeing some resistance in this 24,400-ish level, 300-ish level. Okay, so as long as we don't break above it, we may see it actually decline, okay, back into the 23,900-ish level. Now, I don't want to celebrate that too soon, okay, by getting into this position without having a clear picture of what is going out, because still we have yet to see how things will unfold over the next 30 to 45 days, okay, of this current situation that we're in. Now, jumping into the stocks, if we look at Apple, we were weak into the end of the day yesterday. Amazon also selling off into the end of the day. Now, it's not selling off drastically, but selling off enough to give us like a little bit of, I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay, looking at Facebook as well, sold off. And if we look at Netflix, also selling off. So, we're seeing some rotation in the markets. JP Morgan, however, remained relatively strong. Yes, did it sell into the day? Yes, but it didn't have a massive sell-off, okay? So still, okay, the markets are still kind of finding their base, okay, as to the future of where we're going to be trading, okay? So with that said, just stay cautious, put in stop losses, okay, because I do expect the volatility to continue. This is Fred Razak, and I wish you guys a great trading day. God bless. Thank you.